Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to our week 29th, day 1 of our Maritime English lesson. So, since today is Monday, we will start again with our maritime class. Alright, so from our previous lesson from our week 27th, week and day 1 and 2, we had our lesson about safety. Okay, the different words we used, how we are going to call for a distress situation. We discussed about the Mayday, how we are going to do it, in what situations we have to call a Mayday. We also have the Panpan and the security. All right, the three categories on how we are going to use it in different situations, of course. And for today, we have this ship life saving equipment discussion. Okay, and I know we already had this from our previous weeks, but I need to have it discussed again because this is all for the safety of everyone, not just for the crew, but also for the passengers on board. Okay, so let's start with ship life saving equipment. Okay, so why is this? All right, the ship life saving equipment is important because we have to make sure the safety at sea. Okay, so why is this? Yeah, why is this important? Why is it important? Well, basically, the reason when we go on board a ship, we always think of the safety, okay, of the passengers, of course, and the crew, okay. So when we say paramount, yeah, as I mentioned, that this is the safety is more important than anything else. Okay? The moment we step on board the ship, all of us should bear in mind that we think of our safety, of course, right? So, this life saving equipment are regulated, okay, or was mandated by our international regulations like the SOLAS, which means the safety of life at sea, right? And the LSA code, meaning the life saving appliance code, which is governed by governed requirements of the international um, conventions, okay, like the SOLAS and the LSA. Now, this one, they set out a minimum requirements for their manufacture, the carriage, and the maintenance, okay, of the equipment. Okay. Now, yes, this is essential. Excuse for emergency situations at sea. That's why it is important for everyone who is on board, which is the safety. Okay? Now, here, this is an example of a ship that, of course, there's a safety equipments here, okay, with a comprehensive range of life-saving equipments to ensure the safety. And as you can see here, you have this icon here, which is uh, which means for the safety and protection as a shield icon. Okay, this one showing a ship with a slightly rough sea here. All right, so for the overview of equipment categories, no, we can say that personal life-saving appliances are the first category. And we have the survival craft, okay? And we have the visual aids, signaling devices, and other essential equipment. Now, we have to um, discuss it one by one again. Although I'm sure that we already had this discussed from our previous weeks, but we have to understand well about the personal life saving appliances. Okay? Like for example, for the life jackets. Okay? Life jackets, which is also called the personal flotation devices. Okay? Or the F, or the for the P, F, this. Okay? The personal flotation devices. Okay? That is the number one life-saving appliance. Okay? So, now these life jackets are vests. Okay? Designed to keep a person afloat. Okay? And in a position that keeps their mouth clear of the water, even if they are unconscious. Okay? Now, these life jackets comes in a various types. Okay? And they are mandatory for everyone on board. When we say mandatory, it is or it should be, okay, it should be present on board for everyone. Okay? Well accounted for. Like for example, we are all, the crew on board is like, we're all 25 crew on board. So it should be not less than 25. Okay? The number of life jackets should not be less than 25. It should be 25 or more. If there's extra, it's more better. All right? That is what it the meaning of it is well accounted for. Okay? The life jackets here are often included with whistles and lights for visibility. Okay? And uh, these are the examples of life jackets. We have here, the person is holding a whistle here. And this one is the light. Okay, this one. This is the whistle. Okay? So, this type of life jacket is done this way, like this. You have to wear it this way. Okay? To keep you afloat. Okay? Alright, these are the different types of life jackets. Okay, here we have this type is what we call inherently buoyant. Okay? Inherently buoyant, foam. The foam type. Okay? This one. And here, this is the inflatable type. The manual or automatic. Meaning, is uh, once this one touches the water, okay, it's automatically, it inflates, okay? And sometimes, if you're still on board and you done this, you wear this, you can do it manually, okay? So, this is the second type of life jacket. Okay. Now, the third type, of course, there are passengers on board. The child, okay? There are children on board also, especially for passenger type of vessel. So, there should be a child size variant. Okay? Of course, this one is for adult, okay? And this one is for children, the child size variants. So these are the three types of life jackets. Inherently buoyant foam type, inflatable manual or automatic type, and the child size variants. Okay? So the next category for, no, not category, the number two life-saving equipment is the life buoys, this one, or the life rings, this one. Okay, I'm very sure 100% everyone already have this um, um, in their mind what this one is, because during your basic training, yeah, you have already encountered how to use this one, right? So this is what you call life buoys. Okay, now this one are throwable flotation devices. Okay, so used, okay, to rescue people who have fallen overboard. Okay? So, this one is very important life-saving equipment also. Aside from the life jackets, this one is the next very important equipment. Okay. As you can see, there are features of that life buoys, okay? It is self-igniting light, or it has, okay? It has a self-igniting light, all right? So that the rescuer, especially at night, they can see the person wearing the life buoy. Okay? So, it's also have this buoyant lifeline. Okay? Sometimes it's self-activating. There's a smoke. Okay? Self-activating signal. Okay? This one. This life buoys. Now, this is typically fitted, okay, as I said, with a self-igniting lights, okay, and there's a buoyant lines, this one, okay, for easy retrieval, okay, of the person wearing or using this one. Okay? The very important feature of this is that the self-igniting light and the lines, the buoyant lifeline. Okay? That is one of the very important features of life buoy. Okay? Now, when we say buoyant, okay, this means that it naturally, what do you call this, floats, okay, due to its design and the design and the materials that is used is made from a foam. This one, of the life in a like a foam in a life jacket. Okay, that is their feature also. Okay, of a life buoy. All right. Now, the number three life saving equipment is what we call immersion suits or the survival suit. Okay? That is designed for cold water conditions. Okay? And these suits protects the one who is using, okay, from hypothermia. Okay? So, it also says that providing thermal insulation and buoyancy. When we say buoyancy, it is an upward, okay, force exerted by a fluid, okay, or like the water at sea or air, okay, that opposes the weight of an object that is placed in it. That is what we call buoyancy. So, it is an upward force, okay, exerted by the fluid, like, of course, the water at sea or air. All right? That opposes your weight, the one who is wearing that immersion suit. Okay? So, these immersion suits are very important to protect our body from a very cold water area, water conditions. Okay? So, yes, this one is an example of an immersion suits, a survival suits. Okay, this one, how we are going to wear it. Okay, this one. So all over our body is protected from this type of suit from cold water to, of course, prevent from hypothermia. Okay, so next, yes, immersion suit features. Yes, it is waterproof, of course. The material of that is waterproof. Okay? The water cannot go inside your body. Okay? That's what we call waterproof. Alright, next. The thermal insulation, meaning it keeps us warm inside. Okay? Of course, once the water is very cold, okay, you will experience hypothermia. The body temperature will go down. And once you experience that, well, of course, it's dangerous. That's why the immersion suit is thermal insulated or insulation. And As you can see here, there is a gloves here. And the, what's the call it? The hood here. Okay? Only this one is exposed. Okay? All over our body is protected and it's waterproof. Okay? So if you are wearing this in an iced water area, okay, this immersion suit keeps us warm inside. You cannot feel cold inside. Okay, you feel warm to keep your body, okay, protected from the cold water to prevent hypothermia. All right. So so we have life jackets, right? We have life buoys, okay? And then we have the anti-exposure suits, okay, this one. And we have the immersion suits. So, this is the fourth one, the anti-exposure suits. This is also similar to immersion suits. It also provides protection against hypothermia. And this is also used where situations of of exposure to too much exposure to cold elements. Okay, so this one, all right, this is an anti-exposure suits. This is almost the same to immersion suits. All right, so next is the thermal protective aids, or what they call the TPAs. Okay, the thermal protective aids. Again, this is similar to immersion suits and to anti-exposure suits, because these three are protective suits against hypothermia also, where exposure to too much cold elements is at risk. Okay, here. This one is the thermal protective aids. This one. Okay? Next. Okay. The difference of anti-exposure suits, the immersion suit, and the thermal protective aids. Alright. These three are all life-saving equipment. Okay? But for me, personally, I want this one. Yeah, the immersion suit. All of these uh, are all waterproof. Okay, they all protect you from from too much cold water. Okay, to prevent hypothermia. Okay, these three are all almost the same. Okay, so next. And I'll add some more about anti-exposure suits. Although the three are all similar, this one is less restrictive. Okay, type, used in less, meaning less extreme cold situation. Okay, lesser uh, extreme cold exposure. All right, but I guess this one is the most what you call this, used for a very cold area, the immersion suit. Okay, this one is for the less water, less cold water exposure. This one. All right. So next, okay, the second category, we have here the life, survival, craft category. So we have lifeboats. Okay. These lifeboats are the primary evacuation type. Okay. So, wait. Sorry. This thermal protective aids is like, can you see that it's like a bag type covering to reduce to reduce the heat loss. Okay. This one, the bag type. Okay, let's go back here. Lifeboats are rigid boats for mass evacuation, meaning for more passengers or more crew can use the lifeboats. Okay, because this is large. Okay, and it's modern, especially nowadays. It's modern type, which is hanging from the davits on a ship. Okay, this one, the lifeboats, and it's equipped, okay, with essential survival gear. Okay, inside the lifeboats there are essential survival gear, and of course, whenever you are in a very rough situation at sea, you can rely on the lifeboats, because it is designed for harsh conditions. Okay, the lifeboats. Okay, here, this one, hanging on a davits in a ship. This one, this is large. So I'm not so sure, no, if how many people can go here on board here on a lifeboat. Maybe 20 or what? Because this is large also, and there are essential survival equipments also here inside. Okay, so there are types of lifeboat. We have open lifeboats, okay, which is the basic type, okay, and it is the less common nowadays, okay, and it is propelled by oars or small motor. Okay, now we also have the second type, is the semi-enclosed lifeboats. Okay, this is a partially overhead protection. There's a partial overhead protection, and it offers some shelter from elements. Okay. As we go on, I can show you the different examples of this. Okay. Totally enclosed lifeboats. All right. When you say totally enclosed, it's covered. Okay. There's a full protection from weather and sea. Of course, if there's rough sea, so you are well protected by using this one because it's covered. Self-righting capability. And this is the most common type for larger vessels, like the car ship, okay, type of vessel. Yeah, this one is very common. The last type of lifeboat is the free fall. Okay, this is launched by sliding rapidly into water. Okay, and the quick and efficient evacuation method, the fastest way, okay, of evacuation. All right, here. This is an example of an open lifeboat. That's why, this is the reason why it's not commonly used nowadays. All right? The open lifeboats, because you are not well protected by this type of lifeboat. Although, of course, um, here, for it's just for an immediate protection for everyone. As you can see there, it's really open and there is no other essential survival equipments inside. Okay, this one. And the next is the semi-enclosed lifeboats. This one, as mentioned, it's partially enclosed lifeboat. Partially, meaning not all are covered. Okay, the semi-enclosed lifeboats. Okay, and the third type, this one is the totally enclosed lifeboats. This is the most common. Okay, because as mentioned, it's you are all fully protected in this type of lifeboat. Even if you will encounter rough sea here, you are well protected here. The only, of course, the only reason, since it's small, it's smaller than the ship, is that you can really feel the swell, okay, here, and it's really not a joke experiencing that inside. Okay, so inside here there's also survival equipments here. Okay, so this is the most or widely used type of lifeboat. All right, this one is the free fall lifeboat. Yeah, this one, the free fall, the quick and the fastest type of way of evacuation. This one. All right. The free fall. Coming from the ship here, free fall down here. Okay. It's also covered. Okay. So this is the fastest. All right. Next, we have, okay. We have here a lifeboat provisions, meaning what is inside the lifeboat, the different types of lifeboats. Okay, what is inside? What are the food inside? Okay, aside from the survival equipment. Okay, of course, water is very important. The water rations. Okay, that is the number one provision that should be inside the lifeboat. You have water, emergency drinking water. Now, the third mate or the third officer always inspects this one or check this one of about the expiry. Okay? Now, of course, food is very important. Food that is high calorie biscuits. Okay? The very important. The food, the water. High calorie biscuits. Alright. Also, the third officer checked this one for the expiry. Alright, next. What's inside? You have the fishing tackle. Okay? This fishing tackle refers to all equipment and gear used by anglers for fishing. For example, only. Okay? Now, we also have the signaling mirrors. This is very important, the signaling mirrors. This one. Okay. Okay, again, the signaling mirrors attracts, okay, other or the rescuers in order for them to know your location. You use the signaling mirrors to call also for help or for to call for a rescue. Okay? Next. Okay. What are the equipment? Okay, as mentioned, there are lifeboat equipment, survival equipments on board. Previously, there's food, there's water, there's a fishing tackle, and there's a signaling mirror. Next is the equipment. All right. The first aid kit. This is very important. The first aid kit. Of course, for emergency purposes. The safety of life at sea. SOLAS first aid kit. Again, the third officer is in charge for all of this. Okay, to check. Of course, we have a compass to know where you are located. Okay, the compass. Next, this is the sea anchor. It's very different from the normal anchor, right? This is the sea anchor. Okay. So this one is also very important. Okay. And we have the repair kit. Okay, we have the repair kit. Of course, if there is damage of the lifeboat, you can repair it right away. All right, and we have this bailing bucket. This one. All right, the bailing bucket. You have the plastic type of dipper. We have the galvanized type. Okay. All right. So this is the bailing bucket. Okay. Next. All right. So those are the survival equipment inside the lifeboats. Okay. What are those? We have first aid kit, we have the compass, we have the sea anchor, the repair kit. Okay? And the bailing bucket. Now let's go to the life raft. Life rafts are the inflatable alternatives. Okay. When we say alternatives, aside from the lifeboat, we can use the life rafts. Okay? It is also inflatable. The difference of the lifeboats and the life raft is that the lifeboats is not inflatable. Okay? It is already made of like a ship. It's just that a lifeboat is smaller type of a ship. Okay, smaller meaning it's much smaller, of course. The life rafts are inflatable in alternative only for automatic deployment. Okay? It is a compact storage. Okay. Here. This is an example of a life raft. This is a packed life raft. Once it touches the water, okay, it is automatically a deployment type of a an equipment. Okay? Life raft. This one. Okay? A deployed, inflated life raft in the water. Um, this is the picture of a life raft. Once it touches the water, it becomes like this. It is automatically inflate. Okay? This one. That is why it is called a deployed, inflated life raft. Okay? That's the difference between a lifeboat and a life raft. Okay? Next. Life raft deployment. Okay. Hydrostatic release unit for automatic launch. Okay. Once, as I said earlier, once it touches the water, that is the time that it inflates. There's hydrostatic release unit. That is basically a safety device. Okay? That is automatically a safety device that automatically releases life-saving equipment for emergency if a ship sinks. Okay? Now, you think of like this, okay, everyone? Um, it's a lock for everyone's safety equipment that is designed to open on its own. Okay? And this lock is very sensitive to water pressure. Alright? Now, as I said, if the ship goes down, no, and the hydrostatic release unit gets submerged to a certain depth, okay? Usually between 1.4 to 4 meters depth, huh? The water pressure, the water pressure of the life raft triggers a mechanism inside here. It triggers the mechanism inside. Okay? That is why the mechanism inside then, okay, cuts the ropes, this one, okay, or the straps holding this one, their life raft, to the sinking ship. Now, once, okay, listen, once it is released, this life raft floats to the surface, okay, here, and inflates, okay, providing a way for the passengers or for the crew to survive. That is why this one is a crucial part of the maritime safety, of course, because it makes sure, or it ensures that vital rescue equipment is deployed. Okay? Even if the crew can't do it manually, or if the ship sinks quickly. Okay? That is why this one is important. Okay? So, did you understand how a life raft is used? Okay. I will explain again, huh? All right. Again, think of this as a lock. Okay. Now, for, of course, the safety. Okay. That is designed. This is like a lock. Think of it just like a lock. This one is very sensitive to water pressure. Once or if the ship goes down, okay, and the sorry, hydrostatic release unit touches this one, the HRU touches the water and gets submerged below to a certain depth, like about 1.4 to 4 meters. Submerge. The water pressure under, okay, below the water, it triggers a mechanism. Okay? It triggers the mechanism and it cuts the black one, the rope or the strap holding this life raft to the sinking ship. And once it is released, okay, and it touches the water, it inflates like this. Okay. Did you understand? That's why this is very important. Okay. So, life draft deployment. Yeah. This one is the life draft. The hydrostatic release unit. This one. The lashing. Okay. This one. We have painter rope here. We have the weak link here. This one is the HRU, the hydrostatic release unit. Okay. Next. How a life raft deploys. Okay, how? So, basically, it is stored safely. Okay. It is stored safely. The life raft is kept in a strong container, no? On a ship's deck, which is, of course, ready for emergencies. Okay. Now, secondly, it gets released. Okay? The crew are the ones who can manually throw the container overboard. Okay? Now, if the ship sinks, as mentioned earlier, the hydrostatic release unit automatically cuts the ropes holding the life raft to let it float freely. Alright? Next, the rope pulls and then the raft inflates. Yes. As the container drifts away, the rope is still connected to the ship. Okay? And this pulse has a gas, or it activates a gas cylinder inside. And then that's the reason why it quickly inflates. Okay? That's the reason why it quickly inflates. And it can float freely once fully inflated. Okay. So the rope breaks away from the sinking ship because of that gas inside the cylinder, and there you go. You can float freely on the surface of the water. And that is the time now that you will be ready for boarding the life raft. Okay? Okay, and the people can get inside. Okay, did you still can follow? Okay. Now, here are the life raft excuse features. Life raft features. Okay, this is an example of your life raft. There's an inflatable canopy for protection. There's also a ballast pockets for stability, and the entrance ladder here. Here. Okay? Those are the features of a life raft. The the canopy is tough. Okay? There's a frame holding here. Okay? So there's a reflective tape here on the canopy, so that a rescuer or other vessels can see this, the can see the life raft, especially at night. There's a wind entrance 30 here, closure, this one. Okay, you can close that at night. Okay, if there's too much cold weather condition, all right. And there's also a hand holds here. This is the ladder. All right. So those are the life raft features. Okay. Now, next, what's inside? Okay, what's inside a life raft? Like the lifeboats, there are water, there is a food in it, a high calorie biscuits. Okay. Now there's similar. Well, there's water, there's food, there's paddles or repair plugs, the repair kit. Okay. Next, yeah, this one, high color biscuits. There's paddles here, repair plugs. Okay, for in case of emergency, you can repair right away the life raft. Okay, all the provisions inside the life raft are right here. These are all the provisions. There is food, there is water, there is paddles, okay, the repair kits, mirror, signaling mirror. Okay, so we have equipments. We have the flares, okay, we have whistle, yes, signal mirror. We have also sea anchor, the sponge, the bailer, okay? Yes, this one. These are all inside the life raft. We have flares for emergency help, calling for emergency help. Okay, flares. We have the whistle. Yeah, this is very important also. We have the signal mirror or signaling mirror. You can use this one through the sun, direct sunlight, and then you can use that as a signal. Okay, and you have the sea anchor. Yes, the sponge is of course useful to take away water inside the life raft, and the bailer, the deeper here. All right. This equipment should be inside the life raft. Okay. Also inside the lifeboat. Next. Yes. Rescue boats. Okay. What is the difference of a rescue boat with the lifeboats? So this one is the smaller version. Alright? But it is faster. And it is highly maneuverable. Okay? You can easily manage this one, the rescue boats. And since it is a small or smaller version, it is faster. Okay? So, this is used for recovering the people overboard or for the short transfers. Okay, these rescue boats. Yeah, faster, it's smaller, faster, and it's highly maneuverable. Okay, now, yeah, this one, the rescue boat, which is hanging from the davits. Okay, you also have that. The rescue boat being launched, this one. Okay, so next. Okay, yeah, it says here that it is often rigid, inflatable boats. Okay, it is powerful. It has a powerful outboard motor. Yes, and this is designed for quick responses. The rescue boat. Like for example, there's someone, no, you encounter someone or anything that needs help or anyone who needs help, okay? If you encounter that, you can use rescue boat right away, okay? If someone needs help, okay, you can use this one right away. Or and then you can call right away help, okay? Rescue boat features. All right, next. Yeah, this one. This is also the other type, or yeah, the other type of rescue boat design. Other rescue boats design, and this is the engine. Okay, the other one, this one is also the other type of rescue boat. This one and this one. Okay, they're all the same. As you can see, it's smaller, it's faster, and you can maneuver it easily. Okay, next. Oh, we already have our Q&A. Q&A, question and answer. All right, let's start with number 1. So, again, before I will start with our Q&A, so I hope you had a background already on how you are going to use the lifeboats, the life raft, and the rescue boats. So the difference of the three and the uses and what are inside the lifeboats, the life raft, and the rescue boats. Okay, so I hope you everyone already have an idea. Okay, about the different life-saving equipments. Okay, so It says here for number 1, what is the primary purpose of a rocket parachute flare on a ship? Okay. What do you think is the purpose of that rocket parachute flare? Is it A, to signal distress to aircraft only? B, to provide light in the dark for navigation? C, to illuminate the surrounding water for search and rescue? And letter D, to attract attention and indicate a vessel is in distress. So, what do you think is the primary purpose of a rocket parachute flare? Of course, it's letter D. Why is it that that is the primary purpose? Because this rocket parachute flare or flares are designed, okay? They are designed, the rocket, to ascend to a high altitude. Okay, high, up in the sky. And it emit a bright light. Emit or releases a bright light. Now, making them, that light, highly visible from a distance, of course, to alert rescuers to an emergency or to inform them. That light informs the rescuers that there is an emergency needed on that certain location. Okay? That is the primary purpose of a rocket parachute flare. I'll just go back. All right. This one. That the primary purpose of this is to alert rescuers that there's an emergency needed in this location. It emits a bright light, okay, making them highly visible from a distance. Okay, that is the primary purpose of a rocket parachute flare. Okay, next. What is the main function of an immersion suit? Is it A, to provide buoyancy and protect against hypothermia in cold water? B, to keep the wearer warm in any condition, even without water exposure? C, to allow for underwater swimming and diving in emergency situations? To facilitate easy movement and agility during a ship evacuation? So what is the main function of an immersion suit? It's letter A. Isn't it that I kept on repeating the purpose of this? It's to protect, of course, to provide buoyancy, to protect against hypothermia in cold water. Okay. Immersion suit combines buoyancy with thermal insulation, right? And then it's crucial for increasing survival time when exposed to cold water. Okay? To protect against hypothermia. Okay? Next. What is the primary use of a lifebuoy on a ship? What is the primary use of that? Well, it's A, to be thrown to a person in the water, to provide buoyancy and aid in their retrieval. B, to measure water depth and ocean currents. C, to restore, or I'm sorry, to store emergency food and water supplies for the entire voyage. B, to act as a navigational buoy in shallow waters. So, what is the primary use of a life buoy on a ship? Of course, it's letter A. These life buoys are specially designed to be easily thrown from a vessel to a person who has fallen into the water to provide immediate flotation support until they can be recovered. Okay? That's the primary use of a life buoy. Okay? For number 4, which statement best describes the function of a life jacket? A, B, C, or D? Is it? Yes, it is A. The primary function, or best describes the function. They keep a person afloat. Yes, and help maintain an upright or backward leaning position in the water. Because life jackets are specially designed to make sure the wearer's mouth, or the crew or the passenger's mouth, and our nose are kept clear of the water, even if we are unconscious. Okay? And then, life jackets also provides a positive buoyancy. Okay? To keep the person afloat. Okay? That's for the best function or best description of a life jacket. Next. What is a distinguishing characteristic of a free fall lifeboat? Yeah. Can you remember that? The free fall lifeboat? Okay. Is it A, B, C, or D? It's letter C. That is the distinguishing characteristic of a free fall lifeboat. They are typically launched by sliding down a ramp. Yes, directly into the water from a high point on the ship. Okay? Meaning, a free fall lifeboats are basically or specifically designed for a rapid, a fast evacuation by a controlled slide, okay, from a launching ramp, okay, eliminating the need for davits, okay, the fast, the rapid evacuation, the fastest way of evacuating the ship is by using the free fall lifeboat. Alright, next. Which characteristic is true for a totally enclosed lifeboat? Yes, as I said earlier, this is the best type of lifeboat, the totally enclosed lifeboat. A, B, C, or D? It's A. They provide, yes, full protection from the elements and often have self-righting capabilities. You are protected, well protected by using this type of lifeboat. Totally enclosed lifeboat. Okay? Offer, okay, a comprehensive protection against like harsh water or weather. I mean, they are resigned or they are designed to return to an upright position if capsized. Once it is capsized, if it turns around upside down, they have or they are designed to return to an upright position if capsized. So, making the survival way, making the survival of the passengers on board even better when you are going to use this type of lifeboat, totally enclosed lifeboat. Okay, now let's go to number 7. What is the primary function of an emergency escape breathing device, or the EEBD? Emergency escape breathing device. What is the primary function of that? A, B, C, or D? Okay, let's find out. Yes, it's letter D. Why? Why is it the primary function? It is to allow individuals to safely pass through a smoke-filled or toxic environments to an escape route. Okay? Meaning this EEBD provides a short duration of breathable air. Okay? Which is specifically designed to enable the crew or the passengers to safely evacuate from areas with smoke-filled or toxic environments or hazardous fumes to a safer master station excuse me, or into an open deck. Okay, that is the primary function of this, okay, of this EEBD, the emergency escape breathing device. All right, number 8, which statement, okay, which statement accurately describes life rafts? Okay, now here A, B, C, or D. So which statement accurately describes life raft? It's letter C. All right. Life rafts are inflatable, yes, and they are stored in compact containers, yes. Deploying automatically, yes, or manually in an emergency. Okay? And these life rafts are designed for compact storage and for rapid deployment, either through a hydrostatic release or a manual, okay? Or a manual activation. Now, making them efficient, okay? For making them efficient for evacuation options. Okay? So, that is what accurately describes life rafts. Okay? Next, for number 9. Okay. What is the primary purpose of carrying first aid kits on life-saving equipment? Oh, of course. You know this, everyone. A, B, C, or D? Okay, let's find out. Yes, it's letter C. Now, the primary purpose of first aid kits inside a life-saving equipment is to treat minor injuries and stabilize conditions until professional medical assistance is available. Okay? So, meaning these first aid kits are crucial or important for addressing immediate, or it is immediate but less severe medical issues, minor injuries, just to provide an uh, initial stabilization for more serious conditions. Okay? Now, bridging the gap until the professional help can be obtained. Okay? Like for example, there is some minor cut of the passenger or of the crew on board the life raft or the lifeboat. Okay, why is it important that there is a first aid kit? Okay, of course, just to treat minor injuries, to stabilize it first until there's a professional medical help, okay, arrives. Okay, so next, okay, so what is the main function of an EPIRB? The emergency position indicating radio beacon. Okay, is it A, B, C, or D? Let's find out. It's letter B. Now, EPIRBs uses to transmit a distress signal via satellite. Alright, providing the ship's location to rescue authorities. Okay? That is the main function of a peer, to transmit a distress signal via satellite and then to provide the ship's location to rescue authorities. Okay. Now, EPIRBs or the emergency position indicating radio beacon, these are critical emergency beacons that automatically or manually activated, okay, to send out unique distress signal, yes, via satellite. to a rescue coordination center. Okay, so from the ship, send a distress signal via satellite to a rescue coordination center to give them your exact or precise location for them to be informed. Okay? That is the purpose of a prayer. Alright. So, next. Okay. So, we're done with our life-saving equipment, purposes. Okay, what are their functions? What are their purpose? Why do we have other equipments on board, on other equipments on inside the lifeboats, inside the life raft, inside the rescue boats? So why are they important? And and since we are done with the importance of life-saving equipment and other purposes, um, I hope you have now more clear ideas, okay, about it, about the safety. Of course, that is very important, as mentioned earlier. Okay, those are all basics, and those are all important equipments. So how you are going to wear it, how you are going to use it, okay? Those are all really the basic, okay? So while we are on board. So for now, for our week 29th day 2, I will continue with the discussion about still on the safety. All right? So bye for now, and a let's all have a good day. Since it's still very early, it's only 10:30, so we still have time to go over the lesson. All right? So, bye everyone for now. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you again on our day 2 on Wednesday. Okay? Bye.